So we'll start by lying down on our backs, and I'm just going to do a little refresher about some of the very finer points of yoga class. This class is not meant to be painful. If something hurts, don't do it. If it doesn't feel right for you, just take a child's pose or lie on your back, pulling your knees towards your chest. We're always trying to maintain a breath that goes in through your nose to the very bottoms of your lungs. Exhaling, you can exhale through your mouth or your nose, whichever you'd like. But the idea of the diaphragmatic breath, that breath that expands your rib cage out to the side, forward and back, is that it calms your central nervous system. When the central nervous system is calmed and relaxed, then your muscles have more flexibility, more ease. So we're never trying to force anything into happening here. We're trying to allow your body to work with the breath to open. So starting lying on your back flat, preferably with your chin pointing down towards your toes, not up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose to the very bottom of your lungs. See if you can allow that air to just drizzle out. Don't force it out, don't push it out. Just let your lungs collapse and allow the air to exit. Start to bring your awareness to the weight of your body on the floor, to the temperature of the air around you. Slowly start to become more mindful of this moment. Allow any thoughts of the past or the future to be noticed but not attached to. If your mind wanders, always gently bring it back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of your stretch. Take a deep inhale. Let your right arm begin to slide up the floor like you're doing one of those snow angels, but just with your right arm. Your right arm reaching up and over your head, lying there on the floor. If that pinches in your shoulder, just bend your elbow. You don't have to have the arm straight. So you're lying on your back, your arm is sliding up the floor until your right bicep is right by your right ear. And then bend your right elbow. Let your hand come to the side of your head. And then just gently start to use your right arm to pull that right ear over towards your right shoulder. Right, bloody well right. That's a lot of rights. You're stretching between your left ear and your left shoulder. If you'd like, you can slide your left arm down the floor as if you were trying to touch the bottom of your mat. No pinching or pain in your neck. You're just trying to breathe into those places that feel tight or restricted. As you exhale, imagine yourself melting, possibly bringing that right ear a little closer to your right shoulder. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly release that right hand from the top of your head. Bring your head back up to a neutral position and slowly let your right arm slide down the floor to the side of your body. Once your right arm is lying on the floor by the side of your body, slowly start to inhale as your left arm slides up the floor. Half of a snow angel when your arm comes over your head. Bend your elbow, bringing the left hand to the right side of your head, and gently allow that left arm to draw the left ear towards the left shoulder. You can slide your right arm down the floor towards the bottom of the mat just to add a little anchor to that stretch. Find the feeling of a gentle stretch between your right ear and your right shoulder, and then close your eyes. Breathe deeply into the very bottom of your lungs, expanding your lungs. With an exhale, gently allow that left ear to come a little closer to the left shoulder if it's available to you, without pinching, without pain. And breathe. One more deep inhale. Imagine that you're breathing into the areas that feel tight or restricted, expanding those areas with your breath. One more slow exhale, melting. And then slowly release your hand from the top of your head, bring your head back to a neutral position, and slowly allow that left arm to slide down the floor towards your side. Then we're going to inhale both arms up, sliding along the floor like you're making a snow angel. Some of you actually have snow, not here. Bringing your arms up and over your head, and then bend your elbows, interlace your fingers, and let them come behind the back of your head. First, what we're going to do is gently push your elbows into the floor, lifting your chest just a little bit as you press back your elbows into the floor. Breathe into your chest and feel that gentle opening, that gentle expansion. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your elbows together, gently draw your chin towards your chest. You don't have to lift your head from the floor, just let your arms do the work. And breathe. As you inhale, let your head come back. Let your elbows gently push into the floor again, lifting your chest. When you push back into your elbows, what you're actually doing is deactivating the muscles of your pectoralis, your chest muscles. One more time, bringing your elbows together, lifting your head just slightly from the floor, rounding your chin in towards your chest. And then slowly bringing yourself back to a neutral position, letting your hands slide out from behind your head. Just take your arms out to the side like the letter T. So you're looking straight up, your arms are out to your sides. If it feels like pinching or paining your shoulders, just lower them down so that they're closer towards your hips. Take a deep inhale into your belly. As you exhale, turn your head to look at your right arm. If you'd like, you can push the back of your left hand down into the floor. It helps deactivate those muscles on the left. See if you can turn your head to the right a little further, without struggle, without strain, without pinching, without pain. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. You knew that was coming. Gently pushing the back of that left hand down to the floor helps to open up that pec muscle, perhaps allowing your head to turn just a little bit further without struggle, without strain. One more deep inhale here. Breathing into the areas that feel tight or restricted. One more slow exhale. Then turn your head back so that you're looking straight up to the ceiling. Taking a deep inhale to your belly. With an exhale, slowly turn your head to look at your left arm. Gently pushing the back of your right hand into the floor. Not so hard that it feels like struggle or strain, just enough to deactivate that pec muscle on the right. Breathe deeply into the bottom of your ribs, the bottom of your lungs. As you exhale, see if you can turn that head to the left a little further, gently. No struggles, no strains. And breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. See if you can turn that head to the left a little further. And then slowly bring your head back to the center, looking straight up. Slowly allow your arms to slide back down towards your hips, a small shavasana. Just bring your attention to what your shoulders feel like, what your neck feels like. Slowly bending your knees up one at a time so that your feet are flat, that your knees are bent. Try to make sure that your chin is pointing down your body, not up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers So you're wrapping your fingers in through each other, woven. Looking at your hands, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, let both arms come over towards your right. Follow your arms with your eyes, at least. If you can turn your head to follow your arms, that's great. If your neck is uncomfortable in that, just look with your eyes. You're using that right arm to gently pull that left arm further. Without struggle, without strain, breathe. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring both arms back up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, drop both arms over to the left. Follow it with your eyes or with your entire head. Gently pulling on that right arm with the fingers of your left. Just taking that arm as you're pulling it across your body, turning your head to look at it or turning your eyes. Whatever's comfortable for you. And breathe. Breathe into the areas that feel tight or restricted. We're doing just a gentle mobility of your thoracic spine. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bring yourself back to a flat back, looking straight up at your arms. They're pointing up towards the ceiling. Separate your arms and take them out to the sides like the T. And then bend your elbows so that your fingertips are pointing straight up to the ceiling. Your elbows are at the level of your shoulders if that doesn't pinch in your arms. If it does, take them down further. But your goal here is to try and get your elbows right up about the level of your shoulders. Gently push the back of your elbows into the floor so that your chest lifts up just a little bit up off of the ground towards the ceiling. And then gently let your upper back touch back to the floor. We're going to take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, let your arms fall to the floor. Let your hands fall to the floor. I'm sorry. It looks like a field goal in football. So the hands are up and over your head. The elbows are at shoulder height. Just a little bit of what we call external rotation, an opening in the shoulders. Gently, if you'd like, you can push your elbows down to the floor here. It's just a way of progressing your pose. It's not mandatory. When you push your elbows down into the floor in this externally rotated position, you're opening up a couple of different muscles in the front, your pec major, your anterior deltoid, your who's a what's it, and your whatchamacallit. And then stop pressing your elbows into the floor. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to lift the hands, but leave your elbows down. You're trying to bring them all the way over, so now the palms are facing down, your elbows still at shoulder height. So this is internal rotation. This is the motion you use to tuck in a shirt, or a lady might fasten a bra, or washing your back. So be careful here, no pinching or pain. If it feels like that, slide your elbows down so that they're at the level of the mid-thoracics as opposed to the shoulders. If you can keep them at shoulder height, that's the ideal. Stay right here as you are, or gently push your elbows and your palms down into the floor, and breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. As you exhale, see if you can melt just a little bit, releasing effort, releasing trying. And then slowly stop pushing into that elbow, stop pushing into your hands. Slowly rotate those arms so that your fingertips are pointed back up towards the ceiling. And then straighten your arms all the way back out into that T formation. Your arms reaching out at the level of your shoulders if you can without pain, gently pushing down into both arms lightly. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, your belly pulls to your spine, your legs lift up off of the ground. So you're keeping your hips and your knees bent at 90 degrees. No need for a protractor here. You can estimate. So gently pushing the palms down on the floor, gently pushing the entirety of your arms down on the floor. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, let your legs drop over towards the left. Turn your head to the right if it doesn't bother your neck. So your goal is to try and get your knees down to the floor on the left. If they don't quite reach there, slide a pillow underneath of your knees or slide a yoga block there so that the pose can be supported. When you support the pose, you can then bring your focus and attention to the depth of your breath or to the feeling of the stretch, and you can allow for release. If your knees are floating up in the air, you're going to have a lot of tightness. You're going to have a lot of tension. If your right knee is not touching your left knee, take your left hand and just gently place it on top of the right knee and use the weight of that arm to bring it down to meet. Breathe. Breathe deeply into the very bottom of your lungs. And as you exhale, see if you can melt. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. Take your next deep inhale. Fill your lungs to the bottom with an exhale. Your belly pulls to your spine. The knees lift from the ground, and they're going to come all the way over to the right side. Turning your head in the opposite direction if that's available to you. See if you can bring your knees all the way to the floor. If they don't meet the floor, remember, use a pillow or use a block underneath of them to support. If your left knee isn't touching the right, take your right hand and let it rest on top of your left knee, just gently using the weight of that right arm to pull that knee down. Try not to force anything in this practice. Looking at your left arm with your head and your eyes, or just your eyes if it bothers your neck to turn it that far. Believe it or not, turning your eyes in that direction, there is a muscle that's activated in your neck, and it helps to begin rotation. Find the expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. One more deep inhale to the very bottom of your lungs. One more slow exhale, melting. Take a deep inhale to your belly with an exhale. Slowly pull your belly to your spine. Bring your back to flat. Your hips and knees are up in the air, bent at 90 degrees, without struggle, without strain. So we're going to follow your breath in a little bit more dynamic motion, taking your knees to left and to right, always moving with an exhale, always trying to pull your belly into your spine to protect it. So take a deep breath into your belly. With an exhale, let both knees drop over towards your left. If you want to work on strengthening, let them just hover an inch above the floor. Take a deep inhale here. With an exhale, the belly comes to the spine, the legs lift up and over to the right-hand side. Spinal rotation. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, belly to spine, legs lift up. Take them all the way over to the left. Deep inhale here. Exhale. Take them all the way over to the right. One more time, take a deep inhale. With an exhale, take them all the way over to the left. And with an exhale, bring yourself back to a flat back, knees bent, hips bent to 90 degrees. So we're going to take it 2 more times each side, but I'm going to give you the option of straightening your legs out to do that as well. So you can stay right where you are with the knees bent. If you feel like working a little bit deeper into core activation and strength, lengthen those legs, pull the toes down, reach through the heels. With an exhale, drop both legs over to the right. Remember to pull your belly into your spine. You can turn your head to the left if you'd like.
taking that spinal twist a little bit deeper. Take a deep inhale. With an exhale, lift the legs. The spine is protected by the belly pulling in. Legs go all the way over to the left. Turn your head to the right. One more time to each side. Take a deep inhale to your belly. With an exhale, bring it up to the sky and all the way over to the right. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, belly to the spine, lifting up to the ceiling and all the way over to the left. With your exhale, we're going to bring them back up to the ceiling, your back flat on the floor. Pull that belly into the spine. If your knees are bent, go ahead and straighten them. You can use your hands behind your calves or behind your thighs to help hold that pose. Pull the toes down, reach the heel up, and feel that gentle stretch into the hamstrings, into the calves. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, either stay right where you are or lift your head and shoulders up off the floor, taking your hands to the back of your calves, and breathe. Breathe deep into your belly. Exhale, see if you can lift a little bit higher. Squeeze those quadricep muscles and get those legs as straight as you can. And then slowly lower your head and shoulders back to the floor. Bend your knees, drawing them into your chest. Letting your shoulders relax, letting your jaw relax. This is a modified child's pose. So if we ever do child's pose and it's too much for your knees to bear all that weight, bend so far, this is the modification you can take. And breathe. We're going to lower your left leg all the way down to the ground. We're going to take that twist just a little bit deeper. Your left hand comes on top of your right knee. Your right arm comes out to the side like half of the letter T. And with an exhale, we're going to take your right knee across your body towards the left. Turn your head to the right if that doesn't bother your neck. Remember, you can always just turn your eyes in the direction of the opposite twist. That's perfectly fine. There is a muscle that stabilizes that cervical spine just through eye rotation. You can stay just as you are, right like this, or grab onto the big toe of your right foot with the first two fingers of your left hand and straighten the way out. Find an expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease, without struggle, without strain. Breathe. You can use a strap if you can't reach onto that big toe. That's perfectly fine, but try to get that right leg as straight as you can. You're twisting through the spine. You're stretching the iliotibial band. The who's a what's it's are being released. One more deep breath into the areas that feel tight or restricted, expanding it with that breath, and with an exhale, melting. If you've straightened out that right leg, go ahead and release it, let it bend, rolling onto your back, leaving the right foot of the left knee. Once you're flat and back, just let that right knee drop down towards the floor. So now you're in a figure four position. The right ankle rested just above the left knee. If that feels uncomfortable for your hip, just take that right ankle and put it below the left knee. It's perfect. Right knee to support the pose. Bringing your hands into heart center in a prayer position. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, press into your palms really as hard as you can and start to bring them up towards the bottom of your chin, across the front of your face, and overhead into a supine tree position. So your palms are gently pressed together. The left leg is active, the heel reaching forward to the front of the room. If you push your thumbs down into the floor lightly, you'll be getting that deactivation of the front muscles. It's amazing how you can change a pose with just a gentle pressure in the opposite direction. So press into your palms, press your thumbs into the floor, and feel your low back start to arch just a little bit. press into your palms and start to bring them down towards the top of your head, across the front of your face, and back into the center of your chest in a prayer position. Release your arms down to the floor, your palms facing up, the backs of your hands resting on the floor about an inch away from your hips, and then inhale your arms to the ceiling. Exhale them to the floor behind you. Reach back with your fingertips. Reach forward with the heel of that left foot. As you exhale, draw that left knee and that right ankle into your chest. Hands interlaced behind your left thigh. Your shoulder relaxed, your jaw relaxed. We're taking a deep stretch of that right hip. Breathe. Straighten your left leg up towards the sky. Pull the toes down, reach the heel up. Feel that stretch down the back of that left calf. Stay right where you are, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders, bringing your hands to the back of your calves. No struggle or strain in your neck. If this feels uncomfortable, you can look just straight up to the ceiling. When you lift that head and shoulder, you don't have to curl your chin in towards your chest. You can look straight up for less strain. One more deep breath here. One more slow exhale, and then slowly lower your head and shoulders. Bend that left knee and bring your left foot to the floor. Your arms come out to the side like half of the letter T. Not half the letter, the full letter. Give me the full T. So your right leg is slid over top of your left leg. Your arms are out like the letter T. Exhale, let both knees drop over to your right. Gently turn your head to the left. So we're doing a lot of spinal twists today. We're doing a lot of opposite motion in the cervical spine and the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine. That's really good for promoting increased mobility of shoulders and your neck. Your neck and shoulders move around your thoracic spine, and most of us have very stiff thoracic spines. Think of it as a foundation. It's the land, the foundation that your shoulders and your neck are built on. If that foundation is faulty, you can't get mobility through the shoulders and through the neck. One more deep breath into the areas that feel tight or restricted. One more slow exhale. And then slowly bring your back to flat. Slowly uncross your legs so that both feet are flat, both knees are bent. Let your knees drop out in opposite directions for a supine cobbler. Remember this one, you can slide your feet further down towards the bottom of your mat to increase your comfort. You can slide pillows underneath of your knees, or you can make a fist with your hands and let it set underneath of the upper thighs to help support the pose. Find an expression in each and every pose that you can hold with ease. Where you can bring your focus and your attention back to the depth of your breath. Without struggle, without strain. Bring your focus back to the stretch. Bring your focus back to the depth of one breath. Feel that breath as it enters through your nose, as it expands into the rib cage. As you exhale, allow yourself to melt. And then slowly bring your knees back in together. You may want to use your hands to help bring them back up. When they've been held out in that position of stretch, your adductors sometimes get a little tight. And then draw your knees back into your chest, your hands behind your thighs, your shoulders relaxed, your jaw relaxed. And breathe. Breathe so that your belly fills with air. You feel it press against your thighs. As you exhale, draw your knees in a little closer. If you'd like, you can lift your head up off the ground, round it in so that your forehead comes to meet your knees. And then slowly lower it back. Releasing your right leg down to the ground, both hands holding behind the left knee. The right leg is active, the toes pulled back, the heel reaching forward. Your right hand comes to hold the left knee. Your left arm comes out to the side like half of the letter T. With an exhale, slowly take your your left knee over towards the right. Small spinal twist. You can turn your head to the left if that doesn't bother your neck. But remember, you can just look to the left with your eyes. Breathe. Try not to push your body into any pose. Try to allow the breath to melt any tightnesses, any restrictions. You can stay right there, or you can grab onto the big toe of your left foot with the first two fingers of your right hand, or use a strap, use a belt, use a dog leash, use a jump rope. I know you all have jump ropes laying around the house right next to your hula hoop. Squeeze that quadricep muscle tight if you have that leg straight. Close your eyes and breathe into the areas that feel tight or restricted. Allow yourself to melt into this moment of awareness, of mindful mobility. Breathe. One more deep inhale here. See if you can really bring your focus and attention to the feeling of that breath. As you exhale, melt. If you have that left leg straight, go ahead and bend it. And then begin to roll back onto your back so your back is flat. The left foot resting on the outside of your right knee. Gently let that left knee drop to the floor, bringing yourself into figure 4 position. Your palms float up together into the center of your chest in prayer position, gently pushing into those palms. Maintain that pressure pushing into the palms as your hands start to float up towards your chin, across the front of your face, and overhead into a supine tree. Pressing into your palms, even as they're overhead, pressing gently down into the floor with your thumbs, helps to deactivate some of the muscles in your thoracic spine, giving them the opportunity to open. Pressing into your palms, gently bring your hands down towards the top of your head, across the front of your face, down to the center of your chest. Maintain that gentle pressure pushing into your palms. And then slowly allow your arms to open up to the floor, your palms facing up. Breathe. Let those shoulders relax for a moment. Let your jaw relax. Then inhale your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale them to the floor behind you. Inhale, reaching back with your fingertips, reaching forward with the heel of your right foot. Feel that lengthening across your body. As you exhale, draw that right knee in towards your chest, taking the foot with it. Your hands interlaced behind the right thigh, gently drawing that knee and your ankle towards your chest. And then let your shoulders relax, let your jaw relax. And breathe. Breathe deep into your belly. Exhale slowly. Straightening your right leg up towards the ceiling. Pull the toes down. Reach the heel up. Feel that stretch. Stay right where you are, or with an exhale, lift your head and shoulders up to the back of your right calf. Remember, you can keep your neck and neutral, looking straight up towards the sky, or you can bring your chin towards your chest, looking at your knee. See if you can raise it up just a little higher. And then slowly lower your head and shoulders back to the ground. Bend your right knee, let your right foot come to rest on the floor. Arms to the sides like the letter T. Sliding your left leg over your right. With an exhale, both knees drop to the left. You turn your head to the right. And breathe. Deep into your belly. Exhaling slowly. Bringing your awareness to any areas that feel tight or restricted. Allowing your breath to expand those areas. And then with an exhale, just see if you can melt just a little bit. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And slowly bring yourself back to a flat back. Turn your head so it faces the ceiling. Uncross your legs and let's take the supine cobbler's pose once again. The bottoms of your feet together, your knees dropped out in opposite directions. Sliding your feet down towards the bottom of your mat if this feels like pinching or pain. Or supporting your knees with pillows. Breathe. Taking a deep inhale into your belly. As you exhale, slowly, just bring your left knee up towards the ceiling and all the way over to meet your right. So now your knees are stacked, but both over on the right-hand side. Draw them up a little bit so that they're about the level of your belt. Your arms are still open in the opposite directions. See if you can bring your knees up a little bit closer towards your right arm. Take a deep inhale and let that left arm rise up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, let it come all the way over to stack on top of your right. So now you're lying on your right side. Your knees are at the level of your belt. Your arms are stacked, palms one on top of the other and at the at the level of your shoulders. We're going to just breathe here for a moment. Take a deep inhale. Let that left arm rise up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, let it find the floor behind you, so over on the left side. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, let that left arm rise up towards the ceiling and all the way over to meet your right. So just a little bit more thoracic and cervical rotation and mobility. Follow your own breath. Inhaling as the left arm rises up to the ceiling. Exhaling as it falls to the floor behind you. Follow it with your eyes or your head. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, the arm rises to the sky and all the way over to meet the right. This is a really good thoracic and cervical rotation movement. It's great to do before you go to bed if you feel stiff in the morning in your shoulders or your neck. Inhale one more time. The arm rises up to the ceiling. Exhale it to the floor behind you, and we're going to keep it right there. Stay here for just one deep inhale, one slow exhale. Then you're going to take a deep inhale to your belly. With an exhale, raise your knees from the floor and bring them all the way over to the left. So you're finding yourself in the opposite position by moving your knees. Reposition so that your knees are at the level of your belt. Your arms splayed open in opposite directions. Let your body just adjust here for a moment for one deep inhale, one slow exhale. Then take a deep inhale. With an exhale, your right arm rises up and then all the way over to meet your left. So we're doing the exact same series on the opposite side. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale it to the floor behind you on the right. Follow it with your head, follow it with your eyes. If that bothers your arm, just take your arm and slide it down the floor a little bit. Or even bend your elbow so your hand rests on your right hip. Perfectly fine. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. Exhale to the floor behind you. Exhale till it meets the left. I just got carried away with all this rotation, all this breathing. Inhale the arm to the ceiling, the right arm, and exhale to the floor behind you. One more time, take a deep inhale here. Exhale that arm all the way up to the ceiling and over to meet the left. One more time, deep inhale as your arm rises up to the ceiling. Exhale the arm to the floor, and we're going to hold it right there. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, pull your belly to your spine. Bring your back to flat, your hips and knees at 90 degrees. So you're going to have a couple of options here. You can either lie here with your legs straight, your hands behind your thighs just supporting it, or you can take a shoulder stand. So in the shoulder stand, you bring your knees towards your chest, you push up, trying to get your hands behind, right at the top of your hip bones. So your hands are supporting the weight. No pressure on your neck. The pressure is on your elbows and on your shoulders. If this is too much for your neck, just lie there flat with your hands supporting your legs behind the thighs. Shoulder stands are really great. Inversions are really great for just reversing your cardiac system for just a moment. They're really good for helping you get to sleep at night if you can. But there should be no pressure on your neck. Separating your legs out into the letter V. Circling your ankles in one direction. Circling your ankles in the opposite direction. Then pointing your toes back to the ceiling, bringing your legs back together. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to, let your right leg begin to drop back behind your head, like you're trying to touch the floor with your toes behind your head. Your left leg stays active, reaching towards the sky. Bring that right leg back up to meet the left leg. Stay right here, or let your left leg slowly reach for the floor behind your head. You're reaching those right toes up towards the sky. Bring your left back up to meet your right. Stay right here, or let both legs drop back and over your head. Be mindful of your body. If this doesn't feel right for your neck, don't push it any further. My toes don't touch the floor. I don't care. I'm getting a nice little stretch. You can bend your knees if you'd like, letting your knees come to either side of your ears if you feel like that takes some pressure off, or leave your legs straight. Bringing both legs back up towards the ceiling. Slowly pulling your knees into your chest, drop your hands to the floor, slowly lower down. Letting your feet touch the floor, your knees bend. Turning your palms up, just gently rocking your head from side to side, releasing any pressure that might have occurred. Be gentle here. No struggles, no strains. And breathe. Letting your head come back to the center. Walk the feet together. Let your knees drop out in opposite directions for cobbler's pose. Just letting those hips open a little bit. I like doing cobbler's pose after we've moved from one side to the other because it is a balancing, centering pose. The pull is even on your spine, on your sacrum. So it balances you out. No struggles, no strains. Bring your focus back to your breath, back to this moment. Slowly bringing your knees together. We're going to come up onto your elbows. So we have a modified fish pose. So your elbows should be right underneath of your shoulders, just looking straight ahead. You can leave your knees bent, that's perfectly fine. You can lift your chest and drop your head back. I'm not a big fan of the full fish pose. You can keep your knees bent or straighten your legs out. Trying to push your elbows down on the floor, lift your chest, let your head drop back. If that feels uncomfortable for your neck, just leave your head in a neutral position. My neck does not feel great in full extension, so I just take it to where I feel comfortable. You're pushing your elbows down, you're lifting your chest up, you're doing an extension of your thoracic spine, not a motion we generally do. You can stay there or lift your feet from the floor. Find an expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. And then slowly lower your feet to the ground, slowly lower your chest, the back down to the floor. One more spinal motion in the thoracics that we haven't covered yet, and that's side bending. So we inhale the arms up to the ceiling, we exhale them down to the floor behind us. We're going to walk your right leg out to the right as far as you comfortably can, and then walk the left leg over to meet it. We're going to walk your right arm out to the right, walk your left arm over to meet it. You can take your left hand and hold on to your take your right hand and hold on to your left wrist, gently pulling it a little further. You can stay right where you are or lift your left ankle and let it come to rest on top of your right ankle. Try to keep your spine flat down to the ground, so you're not trying to rotate here. You're trying to do a side bend. I call this a supine bow pose. Close your eyes and breathe into that left rib cage. Feel it expanding. You're opening your spine towards the left. You're allowing the disc to open and stretch. The multifidi, the little muscles in between each vertebrae, stretching and what you do. So be gentle with your body. Allow your breath to melt restrictions. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. Then release your left arm back to the center of the mat overhead, your right arm back to meet it. Release your left leg back to the center of your mat and your right leg back to meet it. We're going to take it to the opposite side. So your left arm reaches out as far as it comfortably can towards the left. Your right arm comes to meet it. Your left leg comes out to the left as far as it comfortably can. Your right leg comes over to meet it. Staying right there where you are, or taking your left hand and grabbing your right wrist, just gently tractioning it towards the left. Staying there or lifting your right ankle on your left ankle, and then making sure that your spine stays flat down to the floor. You're not rotating so that your back is lifting. You're trying to keep your right shoulder down, trying to keep your right hip down. You're breathing into that right rib cage, feeling it expanding. As you exhale, melting, allowing those discs to stretch, allowing those slight paravertebral muscles to stretch in a side bent position. Breathe. Breathe into the tightness. Exhale and allow for release. Just a little bit. You don't have to let everything go with one breath. Breathe. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly release your right hand back to the center of the mat overhead. Your left hand back to meet it. Your right leg centered to the mat. Your left leg to meet it. Take a deep inhale, reaching your fingertips back, reaching the heels of your feet forward, and just stretch along the length of your spine. And then slowly let your arms float back down by your sides and prepare for final relaxation. So in final relaxation, we're just allowing ourselves to find a comfortable position where we can focus on our internal environment, our breath, or the weight of your body on the floor. Try to gently bring your chin to point down your body instead of up towards the sky. It just is less occluding to the blood supply to your brain. And in general terms, you don't want to occlude the blood supply to your brain. I've just read it. I don't know. If you feel like your back is strained or it feels like a pulling, just have a small bend in your knees and slide a pillow underneath of your knees. You'd be amazed at how that little bend in your knees can bring ease to your back. Let your arms lie by your side with the palms facing up. Take a deep breath into your nose, to the bottoms of your lungs, allowing them expand and fill. And as you exhale, allow your body to melt into the floor. Bringing all of your attention just to the weight of your body as it lies on the floor. If your mind wanders, begins to drift, that's okay. Release judgment of it and bring your attention back to the weight of your body on the floor. Now I'll ask you to simply shift your weight, your attention to the sensations you feel at the front of your body, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Whatever sensations are drawn to your attention, make that your focus for just a moment. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the weight of your clothing. Whatever draws your attention to the sensations at the front of your body. And then let your attention center at your heart. Just to the left side of your chest where your heart lies. Perhaps you just notice the sensations on your skin in that area. Perhaps you can begin to feel your heart beating in the center of your chest, or hear it internally. Sometimes it helps to hold your breath for just a moment, and that amplifies the sound or the feeling of your heart in your chest. See if you can find that sensation. And use that as your anchor to attention. Drawing your attention back to it whenever your mind wanders. See if you can start to bring your attention even more fully to the heartbeat in your chest. Sharpening your focus internally. And then I'll ask you to bring your focus and attention to a thought. Allow yourself to bring your mind to the thought of love for a person, for a wonderful pet, for a child, for a lover, for a parent. Just bring to mind someone for whom you feel a deep and abiding love. See if you can picture that person in your mind's eye. See the smile on their face. Feel the warmth of their being. Feel how much you have love for that person. And see if you can reverse that and feel how much love they have for you. It's so much easier for many of us to give love than it is for us to receive love. But when you receive love, if you allow that feeling, you're honoring that person that's giving it to you. So just see if you can bask for a moment in the feeling of being loved.
It's not a concept that goes easily in your mind. Allow it just to sit there for a moment. Allow it to be a seed that is planted. I always like to think about an apple seed. The potential for that apple tree and those hundreds of apples that come from it start with just a very small seed that just falls into a nurturing environment. Allow your heart to be that nurturing environment. And allow for the possibility of a wonderful and amazing outgrowth. And then release your thought of self-love and love for another and just allow your mind to come to stillness. Let any thought or distraction be noticed but not attached to. Breathe. Slowly start to bring your attention back to your body by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Feel those joints as they move. Bring your awareness to the motion. Then spread your fingers apart, spread your toes apart, and feel that space between your fingers. Feel the space between your toes. Let your fingers relax, let your toes relax. Take a deep inhale, let your shoulders just slide up towards your ears. And with an exhale, slide your arms down the floor towards the bottom of your mat and feel that gentle stretch between your ears and your shoulders. Gently let your head begin to rock from side to side. And let your head come to rest wherever it feels comfortable. Your next inhale, let your arms rise up to overhead, your lungs filling with air from the bottom. With an exhale, let them drop to the floor behind you. With an inhale, reach back with your fingertips. Reach forward with the heels of your feet and stretch along the length of your body. With an exhale, draw your knees to your chest. Let your arms float down to hug your knees into your chest. And slowly begin to rock from side to side, just using that floor to wake up and massage your spine. And then when you're ready, just roll over onto your right side. Lie there in a fetal position. Your head supported with your hands made into a pillow or with a block or an actual pillow. And just bring your awareness back to one more breath. A deep inhale to the bottom of your lungs. Feel the sensations as it fills your lungs. And as you exhale, let that air just drizzle out, noticing the sensations of the air as it leaves your body. When you're ready, you can push yourself up to an easy seated position. One where your spine is at ease, where you have equal weight on your sit bones. Let the backs of your hands come to rest on the tops of your knees. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. As you exhale, see if you can hold that tall and lengthened posture with ease. Take another deep inhale, lengthening your spine. With your exhale, let your hands float up into heart center, prayer position. Your thumbs gently pressed against your chest. Let your chin drop down. You guys have done a wonderful job once again. Happy Valentine's Day. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.